Hello, everybody. You're in the reaction room with Reese. Welcome or welcome back. Today's recap is Season 2, Episode 57. Let's get into it. Here's what's happening beyond the gates. We start off at the hospital. Ashley comes into Anita's room and tells her that she's ready to be discharged. Anita says she can't believe how quickly things have turned around, or why. Over at Orphe Jean's, Isaiah meets his mother for breakfast, and she tells him that Elon told her he's being rushed down the aisle. She said, "Are you really thinking about marrying somebody you've only known for 5 months?" Leslie and Eva bring Peaches to the country club. She's doing a whole lot better. Eva tells her about Leslie opening the clinic, and she says that's so out of character for her. But Eva tells her Leslie has changed. Ted and Kat meet for coffee, and he asks her about moving in with the Grands. Kat says she wasn't hiding it, and then Ted tells her it's his fault for not keeping the lines of communication open. He said this is his attempt to repair the damage. Grayson meets up with Jacob, and he asks about Max. Jacob says he's safely out of the DMV, and then he asks Grayson, "What do you know about the organization?" He doesn't answer, so Jacob asks him about Ashley. He says he's not going to let her get mixed up in this. Jacob tells him he needs to end things with her. He said it's too risky for both of us. Bill and Naomi meet for breakfast. He tells her he just wants to see how she's doing, and he says he's grateful that she and Chelsea didn't inherit that gene. And then Bill says he's glad his girls have wonderful partners who will always be there for them. Naomi says, "You can't count on that." Ashley tells Anita that she had an infection, but the antibiotics are working well, and she tells her, "You need to rest." Anita says she's never been more excited to lounge around the house and do absolutely nothing. Isaiah tells his mom he's nowhere near ready to marry Eva. She says, "Of course I want you to get married when you find the right girl." He says, "What makes you think Eva's not?" Darlene says the apple doesn't usually fall far from the criminal tree. Bill asks Naomi if her and Jacob are having problems. She says they are rock solid, and then she gets a text from the family chat, and she tells Bill, "Look, it's good news." Kat gets the text that Anita is being discharged. She says she's not going to rush home. She doesn't want to add to their stress. Ted tells her, "I like this side of you." And then he says, "I made Eva a priority to your detriment, and I apologize for that." Back at the country club, Eva shows Peaches a picture of Isaiah, and then Leslie thanks Peaches for raising her. She says, as hard as it was at times, you were worth it. And then Leslie tells the waiter she wants to order the most expensive caviar for her mother. Sharon comes over to the Dupree house to surprise Anita, and then Anita says, "I bet you're surprised at my latest look." Sharon tells her, "You're alive. That's all I see." Kat tells Ted it means a lot that he apologized. He says, "I admire what you're doing with Anita and Vernon. You're the most dedicated and loving person I know. From now on, I'll be more present for you." Naomi goes over to the hospital, and she tells Ashley that the secrets she's been keeping from her family are starting to suffocate her. Ashley says maybe you'd feel better if you tell them, or at least tell Jacob. Naomi said she can't tell him while he's working undercover, so she just has to keep quiet. Darlene is really worried about Jacob. She says she wished she could have seen him before he went undercover, and then Isaiah tells her he may have a way to ease her mind. Back at the Dupree house, Sharon tells Anita about the tour, and then Anita says if she goes into remission, she's going to contact Devon Winters and record with the Articulettes, incorporating Barbara's voice. Leslie sees Vernon, and she catches up to him. She asked him to have the inspector withdraw the order to shut down construction at her house. Vernon says maybe you should have paid closer attention. Leslie tells him she's losing money. Vernon says, here's an idea. You could sell the property altogether. And then she says, the more you try to get rid of me, the more determined I am to stay. Bill comes over to the Dupree house. Anita lets him know she called him because she wants to discuss her living trust and she wants to make some amendments. She says, this is a conversation I need to have with you alone. Bill tells her, I'm ready. What do you need me to do? And that's how the show ended. Thanks for watching, and please don't forget, subscribe, like, comment, and share. And I will talk to you in the next one. Bye.